Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadagalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha. Sri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakantamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
Namaskrityam.
Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskrityam
Namaskrityam.
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram
Naram
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam.
Narottamam
दैवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim
Devim Saraswatim
Vyasam.
Vasim
योजयमुदीरयेत्
Sojayamudiraye.
Udhirayet
अष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु
Nashtaprayeshu
Nashtaprayeshu.
Bhadreshu
नित्यं भागवतसेवये
Nityam
Nityam Bhagavate
Bhagavata
Sevaye.
Sevaye
भगवति उत्तमश्लोके
Bhagavati
Bhagavate
Uttam
Vattama
Shloke.
Sloke
भक्तेर्भवति नैष्टिकी
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhakti
कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय
Krishnaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya
देवकीनन्दनाय च
Devaki
Devaki
Nandanaya
Nandanaya.
Cha
नन्दगोपकुमाराय
Nanda Gopa
Kumaraya.
Kumaraya
गोविन्दाय नमो नमः
Govindaya
Govindaya
Namo
Namo
Namaha.
Namaha.
Hare Krishna. So we will continue the discussion between Uddhava and Vidura. So far they have been discussing the pastimes of the Lord. We will continue. There are further discussions on that same topic on Lord Krishna's pastimes as remembered by Uddhava. तास्वपत्यानि अजानयात्
Swapatya
Ashvapatyani
Janaya.
ajanayat
अतुल्यानि सर्वथा
atmatulyani
Atmatulyani
sarvataha
Sarvata
एकैकश्यां दशा
ekaikasyam dasa
Ekaikasyam Dasa
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 तेर्विभूषया.
prakriter
Praktir
vibhushaya.
Vibhushaya.
Yeah, this we already discussed last week. We'll just repeat. Just to expand himself according to his transcendental features, the Lord begot in each and every one of them 10 offsprings with exactly his own qualities. This is about the children that Lord had when he was in this world. So he had 16,108 queens, and through each one of them he had 10 children. So approximately 160 160,108 children he had. So that is the about the Lord children, Kala Maghadas Salvadin
Kala magada salvadin
Sarvadin.
Anikairudatapuram
anekai rundatapuram
Anikairindapuram.
Tapuram
Ajighanat Swayam Divyam
ajigana
Ajiganat
Ajiganat
swayam
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 divyam
Divyam.
Divyam
Pumsham Teja Adisat.
swapumsam
Om
teja
Shanti
adisat
Adisat
Adisat.
Please read.
Kal-
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Kalayavana, the king of Magadha and Salva, attacked the city of Mathura. But when the city was encircled, by the soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally just to show the power of his own men.
So one time there is demons. Kalayavana is the king of Magadha is Jarasandha and Salva. They all attacked at same time from different sides. Lord did not, um, Lord moved everybody, to a different place. So Lord did not react and fought with them at the time. Many times he engaged his own men, his own devotees in fighting and killing them. For example, Jarasandha, he fought with Lord almost 16 times, he got defeated. But again, he had that, confidence that he can come and fight again and again in different ways. He would bring different Kalyavana and other powerful kings along with him, try to attack Krishna, thinking that he can somehow kill him. So this is the hope. But Lord is so transcendental. Lord, so powerful. He would defeat them. And many times, even though he can easily kill them, he would have his own devotees get the credit for it, right? So in the case of Jarasandha, in spite, he had so many direct, face-to-face fights with him, but he never killed him. He would defeat him and leave him, kill all his soldiers. But again, Jarasandha would come. At last, Lord wanted to give that credit of killing Jarasandha to Bhima, because Bhima, want to show his valor as a great, powerful man to kill. So he gives like that. So this is the great beauty of the Lord, as described by one of the acharyas. The greatest beauty of the Lord is his heart to give all credit to his devotees. So who arranged the whole battle of Kurukshetra? It was all the desire of Lord himself. He came for the purpose of, Pavitranaya sadhuna, vinashaya cha dushkritam. He came for the purpose of destroying all the demons from the existence and protect the dharma. But his purpose to give full credit to his own devotees, especially Arjuna, he vowed that he will not lift a weapon. Right? He could have easily killed everyone. And he gave the whole credit of winning the battle by guiding Arjuna very closely. Without Krishna's guidance, it would not have been possible for Pandavas to become victorious over all powerful Kauravas physically, because they had the best warriors. Except Arjuna, all the other people, Bhishma, Drona, they're all far powerful for Pandavas to defeat. And the soldiers are also far less in number for Pandavas. They had only like 4 Akshauhinis versus no 6 versus 12, almost double. So there is no physical strength where there is no way Pandavas would have won. But by the presence of Lord, they won it. But Lord gives full credit to Arjuna as the so Lord takes great pleasure in giving, just like a father um, would like to give full credit to his child, even though he was the primary responsible for a particular activity, just to encourage and to show his love for his children. So that's exactly how Lord does. Here in this case, Lord gave the idea even to Bhima how to break the thighs of or separate the legs of Jarasandha and kill him, because that is the only way to kill him. Bhima was unable to defeat. That's exactly how Lord works within of us also. One who has the constant remembrance of Lord, Lord is with them. And they'll be always victorious in everything they do, just like Bhima and Arjuna were. And Lord takes great pleasure in making his own men who are sincere devotees to take the full credit of the victory. Yeah. Anyone, please read.
After the death of Kamsa, when Mathura was encircled by the soldiers of Kalayavana, Jarasandha and Salva, the Lord seemingly fled from the city, and thus he is known as Ranchor, or one who fled from fighting. Actually, the fact was that the Lord wanted to kill them through the agency of his own men, devotees like Mukunda and Bhima. Kalayavana and the king of Magadha were killed by Mukunda,
Michukunda.
Muchukunda, and Bhima respectively, who acted as agents of the Lord. By such acts, the Lord wanted to exhibit the prowess of his devotees, as if he were personally unable to fight, but his devotees could kill them. The relationship of the Lord with his devotees is a very happy one. Actually, the Lord descended at the request of Brahma in order to kill all the undesirables of the world. But to divide the share of glory, he sometimes engaged his devotees to take the credit. The battle of Kurukshetra was designed by the Lord himself, but just to give credit to his devotee Arjuna, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. He played the part of the charioteer, while Arjuna was given the chance to play the fighter and thus become the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra. What he wants to do himself, by his transcendental plans, he executes through his confidential devotees. That is the way of the Lord's mercy towards his pure unalloyed devotees.
Wow. See? Hmm. So before before the war began, as part of Bhagavad Gita conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, Lord clearly showed him, Nimitta matrena bhavasavya sachi. You just become an instrument. I already defeated you. He actually picturizes and shows how all Bhishma, Drona, and Duryodhana, they all are getting crushed in the mouth of the Vishwarupa. They're all getting killed. He showed them. He showed to Arjuna that form. So he gave full assurance, you don't need to worry. I'm there. And you see, this is what is going to happen in the future. You just become an instrument and take the credit. That is how much love Lord shows to each one of the devotee, and each one of you, each one of me and everyone. So that is how loving Lord is. That is the way of the Lord's mercy towards his pure, unalloyed devotees. Yeah. So this is exactly how Srila Prabhupada would acknowledge, um, the mercy of his Guru. His Guru, he says, my Guru could have spread the holy name all over the world very easily. He is Simha Guru, he is all powerful. But he wanted me to take the credit. I'm nothing before him. But, because he wanted his own disciple to get the credit, he left that service for me. Right? And Srila Prabhupada treated every devotee whom he has come in touch and made them part of the bhakti movement. He called each one of them as his Guru Maharaj's representatives. That is how he treated, giving full credit to his Guru, nothing for himself. So all great devotees follow in the footsteps of the Lord. Sambaram dvividam banam
Sambaram Dvidambanam
muram balvalame cha
Muram
Ram Balvalame
Bhagavachisa
Nyamscha Dantavakradin
Anyasa
Dantavakradin
Dantavakradin
Avadhit Kamscha Ghatayat.
Avadhi
Avadit
Kamsya
Kamsacha
Ghataya.
Ghatayat.
Yeah, please read.
O kings like
Hmm.
of kings like Sambara, Dibivida, Bana, Mora, Balwala, and many other demons, such as Dantavakra. Some he killed himself, and some he caused to be killed by others.
Yeah, so these are all various demons that Lord has encountered and many of them he killed himself, or sometimes they were killed by, like for example, Dvivida was killed by Baladeva, right? So like that. So he's showing how Lord is so powerful. Atate bhratriputrānām
Ata te bhartri-putranam
pakshayo patitān nripān
pakshayo patitan rupan
chachala bhu kurukshetram
Chachalahu Kurukshetram
kshetram
yesham apatatam balay.
Yesam
yesam
apatatam
apatatam
balai.
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 Please read.
Then, O Vidura, the Lord caused all the kings, both the enemies and those on the side of your fighting nephews, to be killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. All those kings were so great and strong that the earth seemed to shake as they traversed the warfield.
Yeah. So all the kings in the battlefield of Kurukshetra were arranged to be killed. In fact, all of them went back to Godhead because they had witnessed the Lord before their death, right? Directly they faced the Lord, because of which they did not go to heaven. They instead went to the abode of the Supreme Lord directly. Sakarna dushasana saubhalanam
Sakarna dusasana sobalanam
mantra pakena hatasriyayusham
Kumantrapakena
mantrapakena
hatasriya.
hasasriyasayam
suyodhanam sanucharam sayanam
Suyodhanam
Yodanam
sanucharam
sanucharam
sayanam.
sayananam
bhagnorum urvyam nanandana
Bhagno
Bhagnoram
ruryam
Puryam
nanananda
Nandana
pasyam.
Pasyam.
Yeah, please read.
Duryodhana was bereft of his fortune and duration of life because of the intricacy of ill advice given by Karna. Dushasana and Sobala, while he lay on the ground with his followers, his thighs broken, although he was powerful, the Lord was not happy to see the scene.
So here Duryodhana. See, actually, if you see the word here, Suyodhana is Suyodhana is the original name of Duryodhana, right? But he was happy that his name was changed to Duryodhan. Duryodhan. The word has, Sanskrit has two meanings. One is one who is very difficult to fight with, Duryodhan, very difficult to fight. The other meaning is one who does wrong fights, unnecessary fights. So devotees understand as the other second meaning, but he himself understood as the first meaning. So that is Duryodhan. Originally his name was actually Suyodhan. Yeah. So Duryodhana, he had very bad advisors. Much of our life generally depends on what kind of advice we receive in life, right? We need two things, good association and good advice. If you have good advice at the right time, your life will be very, very smooth, and you will achieve your potential, right? Many people, mainly because of the good advice, they achieve great things. All people who achieve anything great, whether it is materially or spiritually, it was because of two things. One is good association. They had very good association. They had the benefit of the association of great people, whether it is material or spiritual. Second is good advice. Seeking the advice of them would benefit them, right? So all these things are possible. Good advice, good association, good Yeah, good advice, good association, but bad advice. Sometimes if somebody is not good at the subject, it can give wrong advice. Even though in the good association, you may have many devotee friends, but if they are not good at the subject, they may give you wrong advice. So uh, how you choose whom you get the advice is very important in life. And secondly, sometimes you may have bad association, but sometimes you get good advice from them too, right? For example, when Hiranyaksha died, there was an entire chapter on how Hiranyakashipu spoke the philosophy of life, of the soul, and concept of soul to the wife and family of Hiranyaksha. That this life is temporary. We should not be worried. We should focus on duty. Nobody generally, hears good words from a generally a bad person, but because they don't expect that. But sometimes good advice comes even from bad people. The other, there are many such examples. Even what was that? Yeah, there are several instances in scriptures where even so-called ill or bad people also gave good advices, contextually. The demons also speak great philosophy like that. But but the best is when you have good association, good people sangha, and you don't stop with just sangha, but you take good advice. That is the best combination. Then your life will shine, right? So we should seek such association and such advice from our close circle, whom we should have at least few people in our life who you can openly associate and greatly take advice and receive good instructions from them, right? So we should all have such association. So here in this case, Duryodhana, naturally he is very greedy person. He wanted to rule the entire country but for himself. On top of it, he had very bad advice from Dushasana, his brother, Karna, and Saubala, these people, and Shakuni also, right? So they all advised him wrongly, and he just his bad nature was amplified because of the bad advice. Each had their own challenges. Karna had um, uh, his own specific enmity and his own negative emotions for certain people. So Dushasana, they're all bad people, and receiving advice from such people is more dangerous. Yeah. But Lord, even when Duryodhana in the in the final day of the war, Kurukshetra war, Duryodhana was defeated, and his thighs were broken by Bhima, and Duryodhana was just lying around there. When Lord sees him, Lord actually feels sad for him. Ultimately, the Lord is the father of everyone, every living entity, not just good or bad, because of ultimately, when children go through suffering, um, the father naturally is not very happy. From Lord's perspective, he is father of every living entity. Even though he's a bad guy and he needs to be punished to correct him, but still the pain that he's going through, Lord was not very happy to see him. So that is what is mentioned, because he is Lord, he's the father of all living entities, including Duryodhana also. Yeah. So in the spiritual world, there is only mercy. But in the middle world, there is mercy and also there is justice. Right? Sometimes people have to be brought to justice. When the wrong people, because in the middle world, everybody comes with the mindset that I can enjoy to my desire, to my heart's desire. That was the nature of all living entity. That is why they are in the middle world. But if there is no justice system in the middle world, there will be all sorts of, it's very difficult to manage the middle world. So for the sake of that, justice is a must. And in this case, Duryodhana was punished for his, wrongdoings. And the end, he was miserably attacked and almost, killed. Of course, Lord doesn't take joy in that. Lord is very unhappy to see that scene. Yeah, so the main lesson is we need good advice and we need good association. We should need both. We need both, not just one. Yeah, and by bad association, even good people lose their credibility and everything. Yeah, so that's important lesson here. Yeah, please read.
The fall of Duryodhana, the leading son of Dhritarashtra, was not pleasing to the Lord. Although he was on the side of Arjuna, and it was he who advised Bhima, how to break the thighs of Duryodhana while the fight was going on. The Lord is constrained to award punishment upon the wrongdoer. But he is not happy to award such punishments because the living entities are originally his parts and parcels. He is harder than the thunderbolt for the wrongdoer and softer than the rose for the faithful. The wrongdoer is misled by bad associate and by ill advice, which is against the established principles of the Lord's order, and thus he becomes subject to punishment.
Yeah. Lord is softer than the rose for the faithful, for the devotees. He is very kind. Yeah, so the surest path, please read this.
The surest path to happiness is to live by the principles laid down by the Lord and not disobey his established laws, which are enacted in the Vedas and the Puranas for the forgetful living entities.
So the surest path, if you want to live happily, peacefully in this middle world, which is already a place of misery, is to follow the instructions given by Lord. In scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, right? The Lord says, surrender unto me. So if you practice surrender to Lord, you'll be happy. That is the path of Krishna consciousness. And understand that you are not this body, you are soul. So what do you do about that? You practice chanting Hare Krishna, because that is going to take you beyond this world. And you're not part of this world. So you have to do something about it. So in this way, we take the instructions and apply practically in our life. And that will give you, right path and direction in your life. So the best advice or best thing that has happened to any one of us is to take to the path of Krishna consciousness, study these wisdom, these scriptures, discuss with devotees, share and serve together, right? So these are all great opportunities, for all of us in our life. Kiyan bhuvoyam क्षपितोरुभारो
Yan bhuyam shapitaru bharo
यद्रो न भीष्मार्जुन भीममूलै
yadrona bhishmarjuna bhima mulai
अस्तादशाक्षौ हिनिको मदंस्फैर्
Astadashakshayo madam
अस्ते बलं दुर्विसहं यदूनाम्
Aste balam durvisaham yadunam.
Please read.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, the Lord said, the
This one, right?
abatement of the earth's great burden, 18 Akshaunis, has now been effected with the help of Drona, Bhishma, Arjuna, and Bhima. But what is this? There is still the great strength of the Edu dynasty, born of myself, which may be a more unbearable burden.
Yeah. So Lord, after this battle, when 18 Akshauhinis, lakhs and crores of people were killed, so that great burden of earth was relieved. But there are Yadu dynasty, if you see, Lord himself had so many children, right? With 16,100 wives. There are many other family members. So there is still great strength of Yadu dynasty, which may be a more unbearable burden. What does that mean? So does that mean that they're not wrongdoers like these other people who were killed as part of the Kurukshetra war? This is the burden of love. This is not burden of beast. Right? There are two types of burden: burden of beast and burden of love. Suppose you are given a suitcase filled with 100 rocks, small rocks, and you're carrying, right? It's really a burden, right? You don't like to carry those rocks. It just feels like you might think, why am I carrying these rocks so heavy, breaking my back? But suppose if those rocks were replaced with gold coins, like you have 1,000 gold coins in your suitcase, you're carrying it. But how do you feel that? Do you feel burden?
It's a sweet burden.
Sweet burden, yeah. That's exactly because you relate to that in a much sweeter way, right? Oh, this is going to help me in my future, I don't need to work hard or, whatever. So you consider, oh my God, this is a great reliever for me. So you will not feel worried because that's a joy, burden of joy. Similarly, you're carrying your child is very heavy or, whatever, but still you never feel burden. You feel burden of joy, right? So when based on your affection for a thing, even for example, devotees serve Lord Krishna, right? Many times spend days and nights in temple cleaning or decorating the altar, or there is no physical reward. There is nobody's going to pay you anything, or you're not going to get anything. Sometimes we go on Sankirtan for hours, or go to a place, Seattle, spend like 5-6 hours a day preaching, or doing Sankirtan, come back. There is no physical reward, but we know Krishna is pleased by the service we are trying to do. And there is sweet reciprocation between Lord and devotee. May wash vessels for few hours in the temple. Normal people, they feel burdened, if there is no affection for Krishna, somebody just does it physically, just giving their body, very soon they will feel burden, isn't it? But when you understand, this is I'm doing the service for my Lord and his devotees, and then there is great joy in that service, right? So all the volunteers are able to serve because of that affection for Lord. When that is broken, then there is no more, the service becomes burden, right? Yeah. So this burden of Yadu dynasty, when Lord leaves this, so this is discussed again in depth in 11th canto, the Marshal Leela and the pastime of Lord leaving the world. That's one pastime that devotees don't discuss because they don't, uh, they don't like to ponder on the topic of Lord leaving this world. But in that Bhagavatam chapter, there is a description on why Lord actually sent all his Yadu dynasty right after he left this world. Right after he left this world, he also sent all these Yadu dynasty to various destinations according to where they have come from. All these are either directly came from spiritual world, or they are, demigods from heavenly planets, or Vaikuntavasis. They're all extraordinary people. They were all sent back as soon as there are three reasons given there. So by the way they were um, uh, it's mentioned, Acharyas mentioned three reasons why Lord sent them. The first reason is Lord did not want any person from his dynasty to stay back and claim that they are from Krishna's family, right? This caste kind of system. He didn't want anybody to claim specialty because of their birth in the dynasty. Second reason given was um, the these yeah. So there are three reasons actually. So this is these men were so powerful when Lord leaves, because of their strong connection with the Lord, uh, they might feel very dejected and go about everywhere, and they may destroy everything because they're so powerful. Some of them are as powerful as incarnations, and out of desperation, they might do anything that to the world. So, um, so Lord did not want um, his dynasty to stay back. The third reason was mentioned was uh, so there was this Maushal Leela that happened, as part of which the Yadu dynasty was destroyed. So in that Maushal Leela, Samba, one of the son of the son of Jambavati, he dressed like a woman and a pregnant woman, the two, and they were all doing a picnic um, by the riverside, and they're all playing water sports. So in that, all the other dynasty, they were all doing revelry and drinking, and all. So as part of that party, Samba, one of Samba is known to be very naughty, by the way, from his childhood. So he was dressed by other Yadus as a woman, and there was a rishi meditating in that river where these all of them are playing water sports. So they go and ask that that rishi whether this lady is having a male child or a female child by dressing like a woman, right? So to a male person. So and the yogi immediately understood these people are playing pranks with me, trying to make a mockery and sarcasm. So he immediately realized that, and he curses that there may be Maushala in your stomach, born out of your stomach. That Maushala is a iron spear that is born of Samba's, so-called pregnancy, and using which you know there was some fight disrupted suddenly, and they all kill each other. Actually, the dynasty. It was a very sad pastime. So Lord wanted to teach a lesson that even if you are born of a great person like Lord Himself, but if you act without follow, if you do a Vaishnava aparadh, right? If you make fun or sarcasm with a great devotee of the Lord, you will be punished. That's the lesson he wanted to teach. Generally, Lord uses his own devotees to teach great lessons. And that's how Arjuna was put in illusion and Bhagavad Gita was spoken. And similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj was, put in a very depressed state after Kurukshetra war, right? At which time he was taken to Bhishma to speak, Rajdharma. So in this way, Lord uses his own people to teach some lessons for everybody in the world, right? So similarly, he has chosen, in this case, his own family members and used that context to also send them all to their destinations to perform their duties as originally they are supposed to do, right? So that is this last time. Yeah, please read this.
It is a wrong theory. Go ahead, Mata.
Sure. It is a wrong theory that due to an increase in population, the world becomes overburdened and therefore there are wars and other annihilating processes. The earth is never overburdened. The heaviest mountains and oceans on the face of the earth hold more living entities than there are human beings, and they are not overburdened. If a census were taken of all the living beings on the surface of the earth, certainly it would be found that the number of humans is not even 5% of the total number of living beings. If the birth rate of human beings is increasing, then the birth rate of other living beings is increasing proportionately. The birth rate of lower animals, beasts, aquatics, birds, etc., is far greater than that of human beings. There is an adequate arrangement for food for all the living beings all over the earth by the order of the Supreme Lord, and He can arrange more and more if there is actually a disproportionate increase of living beings. Therefore, there is no question of an increase in population causing a burden. The earth became overburdened due to dharma glani, or irregular discharge of the Lord's desire. The Lord appears on the earth to curb the increase in miscreants and not the increase in population, as is wrongly put forward by the mundane economist. When Lord Krishna appeared, there had been a sufficient increase in miscreants who had violated the desire of the Lord. The material creation is meant for fulfilling the desire of the Lord, and his desire is that the conditioned souls who are unfit to enter into the kingdom of God have a chance to improve their conditions for entering. The entire process of cosmic arrangement is intended just to give a chance to the conditioned souls to enter the kingdom of God, and there is an adequate arrangement for their maintenance by the nature of the Lord.
Yeah, so here, Lord Prabhupada is saying one important point. So there is a commotion that number of humans increasing is going to cause overburden for Earth. We cannot feed so many people, but actually it's not true because there are so many more living entities than humans itself that Earth is able to handle already, right? The real burden is because of dharma glaner, lack of following of dharma. If everybody follows dharma, there is no burden for the earth. Earth is ready to profusely produce grains and all the needy things for living entities in this world to be happy, to live happily. During Yudhishthira's time, rains would come exactly at the time. There is bountiful crop everywhere. The trees would be just bending down with fruits, and the cows would be full of udders with filled with milk. While they're walking, the milk would fall on the grass, and it would wet the grass. So there is natural abundance because they were ruling the country with utmost devotion to the Supreme Lord. So when we live our life like that, there is abundance. So that is the mentality of devotees. They never feel scarcity and competitiveness with others. Abundance. Lord has plan for everyone. He has a plan for me. He has a plan for you. He has a plan for everybody in this world. So nobody feels, if I have that if he has, then I won't have. Such a feelings won't arise in the minds of devotees. They always feel abundance in their mind. Yeah. So this is the actual burden is because of dharma glanir. Yeah. Please read.
There are two kinds of burdens. There is the burden of the beast and the burden of love. The burden of the beast is unbearable, but the burden of love is a source of pleasure. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti describes the burden of love very practically. He says that the burden of the husband on the young wife, the burden of the child on the lap of the mother, and the burden of wealth on the businessman, although actually burdens from the viewpoint of heaviness or source of pleasure. And in the absence of such burdensome objects, one may feel the burden of separation, which is heavier to bear than the actual burden of love. When Lord Krishna referred to the burden of the Yadu dynasty on the earth, he referred to something different than the burden of the beast. The large numbers of family members born of Lord Krishna counted to some millions and were certainly a great increase in the population of the earth. But because all of them were expansions of the Lord Himself by His transcendental plenary expansions, they were a source of great pleasure for the earth. When the Lord referred to them in connection with the burden on the earth, He had in mind their imminent disappearance from the earth. All the members of the family of Lord Krishna were incarnations of different demigods, and they were to disappear from the surface of the earth along with the Lord. When he referred to the unbearable heaviness on the earth in connection with the Yadu dynasty, he was referring to the burden of their separation. Srila Jiva Goswami confirms this inference.
It is the burden of separation for Earth. Earth was, Mother Earth was enjoying their presence. Krishna along with Mother Earth was the most joyful when Lord Krishna was walking on her surface, along with all his associates and children and others. Now she is going to feel the burden of separation, their separation. Mito yadaisham bhavita vivado
Mito
Yadaisham
yadaisham bhavita vivado
madva madatma atmra vilochananam
Madhva
Madhatana vilochana
Vilochananam
naisham vadopaya iyan atonyo
Naisam
Upaya
vadopaya
Yanatanya.
yanatonya
Yanayo
mayujjate anta dadhate swayam sma.
Mayukhyate
Yate
Mayukhyate
antadate
Swayam
Sardadete
Sma.
yasma.
Swayam Sma.
Yeah, please read.
When they quarrel among themselves, influenced by intoxication with their eyes red like copper because of drinking madhu, then only will they disappear. Otherwise, it will not be possible. On my disappearance, this incident will take place.
And this is Lord speaking it. So, right after Lord's disappearance, there is this fight among Yadavas, and they all were intoxicated in that mood. They fight with each other and kill.
The Lord and his associates appear and disappear by the will of the Lord. They are not subjected to the laws of material nature. No one was able to kill the family of the Lord, nor was there any possibility of their natural death by the laws of nature. The only means, therefore, for their disappearance was the make show of a fight amongst themselves, as if brawling in intoxication due to drinking. That so called fighting would also take place by the will of the Lord. Otherwise, there would be no cause for their fighting. Just as Arjuna was made to be illusioned by family affection, and thus the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, so the Yadu dynasty was made to be intoxicated by the will of the Lord and nothing more.
Yeah, this is not to be considered like material intoxication by materialistic people. This was all the plan of the Lord, So this is in relation to Lord, so we should not misunderstand it like any other, pastime. It's as much as Arjuna being illusioned, which was taken as an opportunity by Lord to speak Bhagavad Gita. Right? So that is a lesson here. Yeah, so this is a different section. We'll read that next week. Any questions? 15th verse is done. Okay, if nothing, we can end the class here. Thank you all very much for joining today.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Great.
Thank you.